Shalom and good afternoon. Elder Boaz here. Well, it has been a very busy last couple of weeks. I know I haven't done a video in a while. I just wanted to do a quick update on what's been going on in preparation for our spring garden. Now, as you see here, these are some trees that we purchased and planted when we first got here. And I tell you, they are large. These are some peach trees, and as you see, we've been able to do our pruning there. So we were able to prune all the trees. This is a peach tree. These are some peach trees. We have some apple trees that we were able to prune. So as you see here again, I mean, man, this tree has gotten large since 3 years goes by, pretty quickly. So the idea is that these have been nicely pruned and they should bear fruit there. This tree right here, I believe it's an apple tree. It hasn't grown. I planted this tree at the same time. As you see, it's about to produce its leaves, but the other two trees are significantly larger than the other ones. And then we have these pear trees right here that we did some pruning, and it looks like they are about to come in. So on the land, we currently have pear trees, we have peach trees, we have apple trees. Those are silver maple leaf trees, and next year we'll be tapping. We have about 30 silver maple leaf trees that we'll be tapping, and we're looking forward to that. I had a plum tree over here that just didn't do very well, and so we cut that down. And you know what they say, if it doesn't produce fruit, just cut it down and hew it down and throw it into the fire. And so this is our fire pit of a whole bunch of scrap wood and stuff like that that we're burning. And unfortunately, it hasn't been able to burn due to the simple fact that it has been very wet out. So the idea is that when it gets dry, we'll be able to burn all of this wood and all this brush. But this is another project that I've been working on. And originally these were grapevines. And as you see here, these are some strong grapevines. And one of the things that I did was just cut it all back. I mean, it was just filled with the vines, and they weren't doing well. So I cut them all back. And what I did was I replaced them with about 15 blackberry vines. Now, when I first got here, there's blackberry bushes all on the land, or blackberry, plants all on the land. What I did was just went ahead and transplanted them and put them up here. So I'll grow some blackberries over here. And then over here, see, this is a nice strong blackberry root. What I did is just transplanted it and moved it over. As you see, if you notice here, you see it budding. So we're looking forward to some good blackberries. And the only reason why the blackberries don't do well is that they're not in sunlight. So this area is in full sun. Now, I'm going to need some direction on this. This is the grapevine that I cut back. I don't know if it's going to come back, but if it does come back, it'll be fine. If not, that's fine as well, because I have the blackberries that is going to come in real nicely. And I tell you, I made some blackberry wine when I first got here. It was delicious. And so I'm looking forward to a whole bunch of blackberries. Right here, you see, this is an apple tree. And this is, again, something that I planted when we first got here. So looking forward to it bearing fruit. And we got another peach tree right there. So we have peach, apple, pear, blackberries. We're going to be, and this is a cherry tree. Now, it didn't do too well, but it is still alive. And so be it the Father's will, it will come back nice and strong. So with regards to the raised beds, I will again plant sweet potatoes in here. So sweet potatoes and forget something else we'll probably plant in here. But this will be filled with sweet potatoes. And typically what I do, you see all of this stuff is wood ash, as well as the sheep shit. And all of that stuff, I'll take it in here, grind it all up, and so we'll have this as a raised bed. And so in this area I put black plastic around because I plan on putting corn in this area. So we'll have that up and running. And then we go over here. We plan on doing some type of raised bed system with these, and we'll most likely grow strawberries in there. Okay, so we got all of that set, and this is, just basically what we've been working on during the past couple of days, and we put in some good work today, even though it was raining outside. It's pretty warm out here, so, it wasn't just too bad. So all of this is, again, organic compost that we're going to be using to go into the raised beds. And as you see here, the greenhouse is ready to go. We've been able to till the soil pretty good and get all of that nutrients from all that sheep shit and all that chicken shit that's been in here. We were able to till it real nicely, and so the soil is doing very well in here. And we're looking forward to getting a nice, good planting season going on this year. I mean, the idea is that this year, this whole thing is going to be filled with food. We're going to, just plant everything all up in here. And the idea is that, many hands definitely do make light work. And one of the things that one of the sisters is doing is we're starting the seedlings in here. And one of the things they're going to be growing is onions. We got some lettuce. We got some dill. And those are the seeds that we're able to start so far. And so we have them in the greenhouse. Within the greenhouse, we got the seeds started. We'll get this, keep this nice and watered. But that's the name of the game here, is that this is nice and rich and ready to go. And one of the last things I wanted to review was how I am going to keep the weeds down, and the mechanisms or the process in which I'm going to do in order to plant. So coming over here, what we have are these pallets that I used when we first got here, these pallets. So the name of the game is I have a ton of these pallets, probably enough to fill the greenhouse. What the idea is going to be is that we're going to cut out the bottom of these pallets. This area right here, we'll cut it out and then plant the lettuce, tomatoes, or whatever it is that can fit in here. Any leafy greens or string beans or something like this. Plant them in here, fill this area up, and then put these side by side in the greenhouse so that the soil, the plant will grow into the ground in the greenhouse, and thereby I don't have to do any weeding, and that the weeding is kept to a minimal. So you see, you can put plants in each one of these, whether it's lettuce, tomatoes, probably not tomatoes, but any of your leafies, your collard greens, all of that stuff can grow in there without having to deal with the concept of a whole bunch of weeds growing up in between. And I can stack these next to one another. I mean, like I said, we have a ton of these pallets. I'll show you over here. I mean, we just got a ton of them. I mean, and this is just not all of the ones that I have. So you see how, just fill them up and then use them. But, I have a ton of these pallets that we can use. So the idea is that to fill all of these up side by side with the various leafy greens or the string beans or anything that can grow in these areas. Elder Asa, if you have any ideas, if you think there's a flaw in any of my logic, please let me know. Or anybody out there that is familiar with planting, the name of the game to use these to, gotta be cleaned out, but I got plenty of them. The name of the game is to keep down on the weeding, okay? So we can do a watering process in these things, but the name of the game is, to eliminate as much weeding as possible. And if I stack these next to one another in the greenhouse so where that the plant can grow into the ground through the bottom of it, and side by side, I eliminate any need for weeding. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. But the name of the game is that, we're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll for the spring planting season. So the name of the game now is like I said, is to get the seeds going now. We have the soil done. We have our compost ready. As like I said, as you see over there, I have at least over 100 of those pallets. So it'll be more than enough to fill the 30 by 96 greenhouse that we have and get this food growing. It's just going to be a very exciting year. We're blessed to be able to be in this position to do this. And the name of the game is all about humbling oneself. So I think in these, what we'll do is we'll grow strawberries. So the name of the game is that, to have that variety going, and it's just a beautiful thing to be able to have this. And again, this area right here, this is a whole bunch of compost. I'm running out of this compost, but this is enough to sprinkle over the areas to keep down on the weeds as well. I don't have a much, but it's probably enough to fill that raised bed over there, as well as all of the blue totes, just to put a nice coat on top. But that is the name of the game. We're staying busy, getting after it, making things happen, because just a blessed thing to be able to, just produce it for yourself and be self-sufficient. And this goes on the lines of real skills. We need more people with real skills, because those are the people that's going to be valued in the times that are coming up as things get more and more tough. So that's what's going on when it comes to the growing season. We look forward to sharing it with you, and as well, just experiencing some good, wholesome food. All right, be blessed. Shalom.